Namaste बच्चों. Myself JVN Dr. Monica Trivedi. I'm from Department of Science and Technology, Faculty of Education and Methodology. Today I'm going to discuss with you combustion of fuels, types of fuels, and the calorific values of a fuel. This topic includes in a applied chemistry second DTCS second semester. So, student, as we know that the fuel which will give us some amount of heat. Okay, so when we burn some amount of fuel, it will release some amount of heat, and by calculating that heat, we can identify the calorific value or efficiency of a fuel. Okay, so fuel is a substance which can combine and will give some amount of the heat. So there can be chemical fuels, nuclear fuels, or a fossil fuel. Okay, on the basis of their occurrence of their physical state, they can be classified into primary fuels as well as a secondary fuels. And what are the primary fuels? The fuels which occurs by a nature. Okay. So if the fuel occurs in a nature as such, they are called as a primary fuels. For example, wood, fat, coal, petroleum, and natural gases are a primary fuels, where the secondary fuels which derived from the primary fuels, okay, by some kind of chemical processing are known as a secondary fuels. For example, coke, charcoal, kerosene, coal gases, producer gases, these all are a secondary fuels. That these two types are on the occurrence of the fuels. Now, on the behalf of their physical state, the fuel can be classified into solid fuel, liquid fuel, and a gaseous fuel. There are some characteristics which a good fuel has to be have. So, what are that characteristics? The first characteristics which the fuel, the good fuel have, is the stability. Okay. The good fuel has a stability. If the good fuel have a stability to if we produce a coke which is made by the coal. Okay, so if we use this type of coal, it has a most suitable for a blast furnace, because if it has it has not a stability, how we burn in a furnace at a high temperature. So the fuel, the good fuel has to be a good stability value. It also have a high calorific value, as we know that the calorific value is the amount which is liberated when the fuel burn completely burn. Okay, so the good fuel has a high calorific value, and it has also a moderate initial ignition temperature. Okay, like the good fuel has a lower ignition temperature. It also has a low moisture content. If the fuel has a high moisture content, it is unable to burn it completely. So the fuel has a lower moisture content in it. Okay, the the good fuel has a non-combust material, okay, in it. Okay, so the good fuel has a non-combust material in it. Okay, the viscosity of the combustion is modern for the product which is produced by the combustion of a fuel. Okay, like cost of fuel, smoke, control of the processes. So these are some characteristics which good fuel has. Now, the second point is a calorific value. As we know that the calorific value is the total amount of the quantity of heat which is liberated when a unit mass of fuel is burned completely. Okay, and the unit mass of fuel burn, so there is some heat liberated, and we can calculate by calculating this heat, we can calculate the calorific value for particular fuel. Okay, like if we are using CGS unit system, okay, for solid fuel and liquid fuel, we will use the calories per gram. Okay, and for the gaseous fuel, we will use the unit for the calorific value is calories per centimeter cube. Okay, for MKS unit, we will use kilocalorie per kilojoule for a solid and liquid fuel, and for gaseous fuel, we will use kilocalorie per meter cube. For BTU unit, we will use BTU per LB, which is for the solid and liquid fuel, and for the gaseous fuel, we will use BTU per foot cube. Now, there are some quantities. The calorific value is a quantity which we can measure by the quantity of the heat which is liberated by the fuel, which is burned, completely burned. Okay, so the first unit which we use for identify the, or measure the calorific value is a calorie. And what is the calorie? It is also defined as the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade, which is 1 calories, okay, which is equals to 4.184 joules. Now, the second unit is kilocalories. Kilocalories is 1 kilocalorie is equals to 1000 calories. Okay. The next is a British thermal unit, which is also known as a BTU. It is defined as the amount of heat which is required to rise the temperature of 1 pound of water through 1 degree Fahrenheit, okay, which is equals to 252 calories, which is equals to 0.252 kilocalorie. So simply the British thermal unit is the amount of heat which is required to rise the temperature of 1 pound of water. Okay. So next is centigrade heat unit. What is the centigrade heat unit? Simply the centigrade heat unit, it defined as the amount of heat which is required to rise the temperature of 1 pound of water through 1 degree Celsius. Okay. BTU is a the 1 pound of water through 1 degree Fahrenheit, and the centigrade heat unit is the increase in a heat or rise the temperature of 1 pound of water through 1 degree centigrade, which is equals to 1 kilocalorie, and which is equals to 3.968 BTU. Okay, and it is equals to 2.2 CHU. Okay. So this is the unit which is these are the unit which are used to calculate the heat of combustion and the heat of release by the fuel when it is completely burned. Now, what is the gross or a net calorific value? As we know that it is the amount of heat which is generated when the unit of quantity or a fuel is completely burned in presence of oxygen. Okay. And the product which is combustions are cooled at room temperature. When the product or the product of the combustion are cooled down at the room temperature, the steam gets condensed to form as a water, and that time some amount of heat evolves, and this heat is known as a latent heat. Okay. Thus, to determine the gross calorific value, we can calculate the latent heat and we can calculate the measured heat. Okay, we can calculate the heat which is evolved by the combustion. So therefore, the gross calorific value is also known as a high calorific value because it contains latent heat which is evolved and the condensed water heat also. So the calorific value which is determined by the it can be determined by the bomb calorimeter, and it will give the high calorific value for the fuel combustion. Okay. The second one is a net calorific value. What is a net calorific value? So net calorific value is defined as the net heat which is produced when the quantity of the fuel is completely burned and the product of combustion is allowed to escape. Okay. For example, the water vapor do not condense and it escapes. with a hot combustion of gases. Okay, hence the lesser amount of heat we will get, and so we can calculate. If we calculate the calorific value, we will get the lesser amount of the calorific value. So the calorific, so the lower or lesser amount of calorific value, which is equals to high calorific value, subtracted by latent heat of water vapor, because it doesn't have a product. So if we calculate lower calorific value, we just have to subtract the latent heat of the water vapor form. Okay. For this, for example, if we take H2 plus half O2 molecule, and it will convert into water molecule. The water molecule is a product. So therefore, if we calculate the lower calorific value, we have to just put the formula, which is the lower calorific value is equals to higher calorific value subtracted by weight of hydrogen multiplied by 9 multiplied by latent heat of steam, or we can write it as a LCV. LCV is a lower calorific value, which is equals to higher calorific value subtracted by weight of hydrogen multiplied by 9 multiplied by latent heat of steam, which is 587. Now, how to determine the calorific value? We can determine the calorific value experimentally by the bump calorimeter. If we have a solid and a non-volatile liquid fuse, we can determine the calorific value experimentally by the bump calorimeter. And the principle of bump calorimeter is, if we know the amount of the fuel which is burned in excess of oxygen, and some amount of heat liberated, and it is transferred in a water, because the steam condense and it will convert into a water. So in a bump calorimeter at a high temperature in the presence of oxygen, the fuel, the hydrogen fuel is burned, and it liberates some amount of heat, and it converts into a water molecule. So the calorific value of the water, the calorific value of the fuel, this can be determined by applying the principle of calorimetry, which is the heat gain is equals to heat lost. Okay, so simply the calorimetric principle is the heat generated is which is equals to heat loss. So by this formula, we can calculate the calorific value from the bump calorimeter. Okay. So, and we can calculate by using the formula of bump calorimeter, which is like if we take some sample of fuel, which is X gram, and if we weight the water of the calorimeter, which is a W gram. Okay, so we have to calculate the water equivalent of the calorimeter. Okay, in a bump calorimeter, which is equals to W gram, small W gram. Okay, so the initial temperature of the water is T1 degree centigrade, and the water, the final temperature of water is T2 degrees centigrade. Okay. Now, if we calculate the calorific value or a high or gross calorific value, it is equals to C. C is here a calorific value. It has a unit calories per gram. Okay. Now the heat generated by the water is equals to W, which is the weight of the water in a calorimeter multiplied by temperature, difference in the temperature, which is a del T, multiplied by specific heat of water. Okay. So we can also write this equation like W, which is a weight of the water in a calorimeter multiplied by del T is also it also can return as a T2 minus T1, a high temperature minus a low temperature. Okay, so T1 is a initial temperature and T2 is a final temperature. So the final temperature subtracted by the no initial temperature multiplied by 1 calorie. 1 calorie is the specific heat of water. Now, the heat gained by the calorimeter is the W T2 minus T1 calorie, okay, derived from the previous equation. Now, the heat liberated by the fuel is X multiplied by calorific value calories. So, By putting this equation, we will get the heat liberated by the fuel, which is equals to heat gained by the water and the calorimeter. So finally, we will calculate the calorific value by putting all such values in this formula. Now, what is the net calorific value? We can how we can calculate this net calorific value by using the bump calorimeter. If suppose if we take the hydrogen fuel, okay, so hydrogen fuel we denote it as a H, and here the weight of water which is produced from 1 gram of a fuel, which is equals to 9 hydrogen per 100 gram. Okay, and the heat liberated during the condensation of steam is equals to 0.09 hydrogen into 158 calories, which is a heat latent heat liberated of a water. Now, if we have to calculate the net or lower calorific value, we just have to put the equation like lower calorific value which is equals to gross calorific value minus or subtracted by latent heat of water form. So we will get C, which is a gross calorific value subtracted by 0.09 H multiplied by 587 calorie per gram. Now, the theoretical values for the carbon, hydrogen, and the sulfur elements, we can calculate the calorific value by the theoretical method, and also put this value to identify the net calorific value. Okay. So, by Daglong's formula, we can use the Daglong formula to calculate the calorific values and to identify the gross calorific value and to identify to measure the net calorific value. So for to measure the gross calorific value, we just have to put the formula, which is 1 by 100, 8080 carbon plus 34500 of hydrogen subtracted by oxygen by 8 plus 2240 of sulfur kilocalorie per kilogram. By using this formula and putting such values of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur in this formula, we can calculate the gross calorific value of the hydrogen fuel. Now, to calculate the net calorific value, we just have to put the formula which is net calorific value, which is equals to high calorific value subtracted by 9H by 9 hydrogen by 100 multiplied by latent heat of water vapor, which is 587 kilocalorie per kilogram. And it also can return as a HCV, the net calorific value, which is equals to high calorific value subtracted by 0.09 H multiplied by latent heat of water vapor, which is 587 kilocalorie per kilogram. So student, this is about the fuel, the classification of fuel and the consumption of fuel by the calorific value. I hope you can understand what I'm delivering here, and if you have any query, please let me know. I will resolve your problem. Thank you very much.